Alrighty, hey guys, Nathan here. So what we're going to talk about is pretty much our 3 pillars to our training philosophy, what they mean and why that's obviously important for you to get success within this program. So the first one is taking the muscle to failure and why it's important to be training to failure, then progressive overload, then sleep and rest and recovery. So those 3 things, okay? So back to point 1, all right, why is it important every single time that you come in the gym, whether it's training legs, training chest or back, why is it important that we're constantly pushing those muscles to failure every single time we come in? In a nutshell, okay, it is literally just because if we're constantly putting more load on that muscle than what it can technically handle, you're essentially forcing growth and forcing that muscle to get stronger and grow so that it can handle the load that you're putting onto it, okay? So we come in, we do our chest press, we do our warm-up sets, and then we work those 2 heavy sets of say 8 to 12 reps. And those 2 sets are balls to wall. We're putting absolutely everything in so that those last 2 reps are literally your chest is at failure. You couldn't do 1 more rep, okay? When you continually keep doing that, week in, week out, and you're forcing the muscle to take more and more load every single week, keep taking it to failure and failure, okay? Obviously you're getting to a point where you plateau, but that's when we may change exercises or change rep ranges. But if you're continually doing that across all of your muscle groups, day in, day out, and week in, week out, you're forcing your body to change and forcing it to be able to essentially grow muscle and get stronger to handle the load you're putting it under. Okay, the more muscle we have, the more anabolic you'll be, and essentially the more fat you will burn, okay? So the second thing kind of ties into the first point. The second point being progressive overload ties into the first point. So we want to take the muscle to failure, but we also want to be tracking it and progressing that each week. Cool, so we took the muscle to failure on our chest press and we used the 37s today. We just squeezed out our 12th rep. Okay, so next week we come in, we've tracked that and jotted it down in our app. We know exactly how much weight we hit. Next week, we might be either doing 1 more set at that weight, or we might be increasing it by 1 more rep, or we might be going up in weight. Either way, we're progressing with either weight, more sets, or more reps. Once you hit that 12 reps in that rep range, that's when we look to go up in weight. But if you haven't hit your 12 reps and you say fail at 10, we know that we've still got two more reps in the bank that might come in the next couple of weeks, okay? Once we do get to that 12, that's when we look to increase the weight, okay? So obviously, progression through your training plan over this 3 or 4 month block is super important to be constantly putting more load and progressing through all those lifts, through all the different muscles that you're going to train throughout the week. All right, you're going to be forcing your body to change and get stronger and grow. Well, we don't want to think about it like this. You don't want to come in one day and push the 35s on your chest press, then next week be pushing the 32s. How is that going to be forcing change or helping you get stronger or grow new muscle tissue? All right, it's not. So we've got taking the muscle to failure, super important, but then progressing that and tracking it every single week so we're constantly making new gains and looking to build muscle tissue. So very important, guys, all right? So that brings me to the last point, which again ties into point 1 and 2, but is actually the most important thing in your whole program. And it's one thing that you probably don't see a lot of online. You don't see a lot of coaches talking about it. All you hear is coaches saying, go balls to the wall, train as hard as you fucking can, don't have any days off, go hard, whatever. So it's sleep and recovery. If you are not sleeping and recovering well, points 1 and 2 do not even matter. Do not fucking matter. If you're training 5 days a week and you're sleeping and you're going to failure, you're progressing all your lifts, and you're sleeping fucking 3 or 4 hours a night, none of this matters. By far the most important thing you're doing on a daily basis is your recovery and sleep, and making sure you're having those set rest days where you just are walking and eating your food, okay? Because that is when the muscle is actually recovering, repairing, and it's, in a sense, growing. When you go to sleep at night, that is when the muscle is actually doing all of its recovery, growing, and changing and building. Not when you're in the gym. When you're in the gym, you're breaking down muscle tissue. You're tearing it down and shredding it. And you're using all of that glucose and those carbs in the muscles and depleting it of everything it's got. Then at night time, when we're resting, that's when the muscle is doing its recovery and growing, okay? So it's super important. If you're getting, and also you won't be getting those progressions that we're looking for from step 2, those progressions each day and each week, they will stop happening if you're also not sleeping. So as your coach, we will know. If you stop progressing and we see your numbers and they're not looking right, we probably know you're overworking, putting your body under too much stress, and you're not doing the right amount of recovery, like sleep and so on. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. You've got taking a muscle to failure, progressive overload, and sleep. At RealBods, they're our 3 pillars, and if you do all of them correctly, we will get the results.